questions to ask throughout our campaign, with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yo, my people, big up. This is the TACT Eagle for Palace versus Tottenham, or Spurs, as you would like to say. Dan is not here. I've got a replacement. He's subbing in while Dan's on his international journeys. I think he's in Brazil right now. I think he was flying out last night.
Lucky guy.
Yeah. Yeah, homie's got that yearly trip to Brazil on lock.
Definitely.
But don't worry, we didn't downgrade that much. We're here with Rich. How are you doing?
I mean, I would say we have boy from a STATMAN down to a Rich boy. I'm good. Hopefully, obviously, my tactical awareness will be appreciated on this stream. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game, actually. It's weirdly one that I'm more confident about than not. So, yeah, let's break this down.
Well, you're talking about confidence. I'm still having zero confidence, purely because I don't think we've scored a single goal at that stadium yet. And I've witnessed a 4-0 and I think a 3-0 as well. So hopefully third time's a charm.
That's what they say. That is what they say.
Right, so let's jump into it. So, the 11s. I think that this is how we will play. With Johnstone in goal, Mitchell, Gay, Anderson, Ward, with Decore, Schlupp, Eze in midfield, Zaha wide left, Elise on the right, and Ayew through the middle. This is bearing in mind that Zaha injury or knock isn't too bad. As you can see, I have got Edouard down there as a sub, so if that changes, we will go and play something more like that with Ayew on the left and Edouard through the middle.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be hopeful that Zaha's fine. It's just a knock, and a little bit of ice will get him over it.
There'll be no need to change our lineup, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to Spurs, though, a few injuries are really looking like they're going to hurt him a little bit. So they have the notable injuries are Hugo Lloris, Basuma, Bentancur, and Sessegnon, who are out. And those are some very key players for them. Really, what I would see is they probably start Lloris, you probably start Bentancur over Skip, and maybe Sessegnon and Perisic, but those are some very key players. Bentancur has probably been one of their best players all season. So for them to miss out on him and only have Højbjerg and Skip in the midfield, they've got a highly weakened midfield. So purely on an injury standpoint, they've got a highly weakened squad.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think we look at the game at Sellers Park where we dominated for the first half, just couldn't take on any of our chances, and I believe Bentancur came on from the bench that game too, and he just controlled it, like everything, especially after they scored the first goal. Like we just couldn't get hold of the ball. It was bad, and Bentancur's one of the key factors in that. So not wishing injury on anyone, but it's definitely a big plus if he does miss out.
Definitely. I think that Spurs will most likely pick up the same team that they played against Liverpool, because even though they did concede, they did create chances and they did create goals. So they went with Forster in goal, with Romero, Dyer, and Davies at the back, with Pedro Porro and Perisic on like a wing-back, full-back kind of thing, with Højbjerg and sort of a Skip in the midfield. You've got sort of Kulusevski and Son, not as far out as wingers, but sort of like wide attacking midfielders, or maybe inverted wingers with Kane up front, but him also liking to drop deep as he has done since Mourinho's been there. Rich, talk me through their lineup and who are the danger people in that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not the strongest of lineups, but you can never really be too careful. Funny enough, obviously Harry Kane's the biggest threat. We all know that, but they get a lot of their joy from their fullbacks. I'm sure Porro's got like about 3 or 4 goals already. Did he not sign in January?
Yeah,
or something like that. Like, so he shows that he gets forward a lot. Perisic always goes forward. His work rate's incredible, and it allows the likes of Son and Kulusevski to mix up their game because Porro and Perisic tend to go high. So as you said, they effectively become inverted strikers or inverted wingers or second strikers.
Mhm.
You know, supporting Harry Kane. And I know we're going to go more into the tactical side of it in a minute. But one thing we have to be very mindful of is making sure that I wouldn't say go touch tight to Harry Kane when he drops in, because he's very good at 1, spinning, 2, picking up like buying fouls, or 3, setting the ball off to someone else and creating the space. So we're going to have to find a way of trying to prevent the ball going into Kane rather than trying to nick it off him. But that will go more to the tactical side and where players are positioned.
Yeah, of course. With Spurs, just like a few, because Statman down in here, so I need to pull my way to some stats today. But one thing that I did find was interesting is that it seems to be that Palace have actually got a more secure defence than Tottenham. So on average, all season, Spurs concede 1.7 goals per game, and for a team that's pushing for top 6 Europe, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, Palace, after our dreadful time with Vieira and how we have been playing all season, we only concede 1.4 goals per game. And I thought we were playing really bad. And I think we all did. But to still have a technically better defense, and I think we have we've only got 1 less clean sheet than them as well.
Yeah. I think when you look at those stats, even when we had a rough patch with Vieira, I think we only conceded more than 2 on 3 occasions, which was Spurs, Fulham, and Arsenal. And obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong. Other than that, it was either 2 or 1. So we were still defensively all right. Just wasn't good going forward.
Yeah.
And such. But even on that note, like now, Tottenham will get a lot of joy from set pieces. That's another bit of bread and butter for them, set pieces, and hopefully we can learn from our mistakes against West Ham because we were bad defensively.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to touch on as well. The set pieces is going to be huge in this game because Kane is obviously the danger man, but they've got 3 centre backs as well as a huge defensive midfielder in Højbjerg, and Perisic ain't short either. And then you've still got Kulusevski and Son standing on the edge of the box. So you've got danger there. One stat that I found that definitely backed up my point of their counter-attack team. All season, we have scored 14 goals from a counter-attack. They've scored 27. And it shows how direct they are, because I know that their accurate passes in the opposition half is about, was it 64%? But it shows that they are very willing to play that risky pass, and they must do it a hell of a lot because they try and play 20 long balls a game, and they cross 5 times a game at least. So they're always looking for the risky pass, but even though they're playing it constantly, it's going to go through one time, and pretty much the one time it goes through, they score. And I think we saw it against Liverpool last night. When they played through Son, when Trent was caught out of position, he was easily through, wasn't he? It was a thread of the needle pass, but it left Son free.
No, absolutely. And even with not even just the Son goal, the build up for Kane's goal, it's as if like that pass always seems to make sure that a centre back gets dragged out of position.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So we can speak about that here actually. So the black circle is obviously where Perisic started his run from, and the black line is where he went. I believe that this is Højbjerg on the ball, passing it into Son. But bear in mind, this is all one-touch passing. Højbjerg to Son to Skip, and Skip puts through Perisic.
Yeah.
Perisic picks up the ball on the run. Van Dijk goes out to defend against him.
Just before you go to that next image, just look at like the fact that Skip's got like 20 yards and no one's near him.
Mm-hmm.
Konate's literally been dragged, and that's what I'm saying about this is the fullbacks, and this is where we need to be careful because Harry Kane does a similar thing as well.
Yeah. So what we need to see is in between Perisic's run, Son's pass back, and Højbjerg, you've got Harvey Elliott, Luis Diaz, and Trent all out of position in that tiny little space. And also behind Son, you see Konate pushing out, even though he's back to him.
It's a mess.
But the thing is you can see in front of him, you can see Gakpo, Curtis Jones, and Salah very flat-footed, and also Fabinho flat-footed. So put it this way, Skip could have gone either way. He could have gone into Kulusevski, who's already on the move, by the way.
Yeah, and Fabinho doesn't know where he is.
Fabinho's in no man's land.
Which means, and that's it, as we go further on, because obviously you look at Curtis Jones at the bottom of the picture, he's looking directly, he's ball watching basically, which probably shows that Porro's gone.
Oh, Porro's gone, man. Put it this way, it didn't show it on the camera angle, but I'm sure that Porro is probably higher than Kulusevski down on the touchline.
Probably is, yeah. Because I think in the last clip, the image we see, you see that he joined Harry Kane in the box.
Yeah, he was. So Perisic picks up the ball. Perisic is known for being a good dribbler. He has been at his previous clubs, and for the Euros and the World Cup that they got to the quarterfinals of, he was one of the key people. Picks up the ball, starts running. Virgil van Disney comes out and plays limbo.
Literally Samba season, boy. Where was he going?
I don't know if you've seen the Twister one as well. That was my favorite one.
The Twister one's funny. There's so many of them.
But bear in mind, Van Disney's gone. He picks up the ball and crosses it in. You see Fabinho still in no man's land. Robertson, what's he doing?
It's a mess all round. Like, how do you have four
Robertson
players?
is your left back. He really should be about where Porro is. Why is he where the the right centre back should be? Like, even I think that's Salah next to Van Dijk. Like, he's actually tried to get back, but where is all the other Liverpool players? It just shows how direct they are and how fast they are when they attack. Great finish from Kane, but still, you got Porro there, the 23. You got Son on the edge of the box, ready for a pullback or a dodgy kick out. Like, they commit forwards, and that is one thing that's very scary.
Yeah.
However, they are very scary going forwards, but I think they terrify their own fans when defending.
Oh man.
So,
especially in the first 20 minutes.
In the first 20 minutes, what was it? It was crazy, wasn't it? It was
Newcastle.
I think it was two goals in 5 minutes in the first 5 minutes against Liverpool. And then Romero's just a liability and gives away penalties for fun. And Lucas Moura's clearly a Liverpool fan. However, here's one screenshot I got. So the blue circles are, so the big blue circle around Trent is the amount of space that he's got.
It's crazy.
He's stood there, taken a touch, and then kicked the ball. That the ball's already in flight, and there's still no one pushing him. You see, Højbjerg is already running away from him before the ball's even kicked. Son hasn't pushed out, and he's got loads of space. If he really wanted to, he probably could have waited for Salah to come back and put him in, because Salah's still offside at this point, and no one's picking him up.
Yeah.
Obviously, the blue circles, everyone's in no man's land, not picking up their man. The only person picking up their man is Porro, who is the right back, picking up Diaz, who was playing through the middle,
And he has no idea that Curtis Jones is behind
and
him.
he's got no idea that Curtis Jones is behind him.
But that's Curtis Jones' skips man, because Porro really should be looking at Robertson in this scenario. So yeah, Skip's ball watching.
But it's a dreadful mess of errors.
Yeah.
But I thought this was good to look at, because we know that Elise can run to the byline, look up, look like he's going to cross, and then run round them. If we can do this same scenario where we commit people into the box, and other teams we've played under Hodgson, we have done this.
You know
we
right.
can leave Zaha very open in the box. And also, one thing that I noticed in the West Ham game, we saw Mitchell getting into the box a lot more than he used to as well. So potentially this person we're crossing to in this same scenario, because I don't see why it couldn't happen again, as Porro and Perisic aren't very switched on defensively, to be fair to them. We could replicate this.
Yeah, because
only
you
if
know
we're
what?
brave.
There's been a few instances now where I'm not like Wood's not got the same ability as Trent. I know that, right? But he's been in that position where he's the one crossing the ball in, and so if Elise can continue to like drag players out of position through his dribbling and his just ball manipulation and stuff, lay it off to Wardy, that's where we can get that similar joy as well.
The last picture here is blue circle again. No pressing, easy pass for Salah, and literally all it is a Gakpo run, and Diaz follows the run and holds it a little bit. Both of the centre backs. It's not even both of the centre backs. That's just Romero. So their far right centre back is the only one in the middle. I think Dyer's 4, so I don't know where he is. I'm pretty sure Davies is 33, and I think Skip is actually the man tracking Gakpo. So you're thinking that's a midfielder tracking the runner, and a centre back standing next to the referee. Like it's just a shambles. It really is.
Yeah, it's bad. And once again, like we have Eze and Schlupp's they've been doing those runs quite a lot under RHEA, you know, so it's another area to exploit.
Definitely.
On either side.
So do you want to talk about us attacking Spurs first or us defending against Spurs first?
I have set up defensively, I think. Yeah, I did. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
I could do either way, actually. But
yeah, you speak about defense first, then.
So, what we have here is we've got Spurs in yellow. And what I was talking about in this instance is the aspect of as I mentioned it earlier, Harry Kane, who is so pivotal to what they do. We have to somehow be able to prevent the ball going into him. Now, loads of times what Kane tries to do is pin up a centre-back so that the centre-back fouls him, or if they try to nick it, he might roll them, or he could just set it off, and then you've got, let's say if you get a ball in here, sets the ball off, and then that's when Son or Kulusevski are gone and such, because one of our centre-backs have been pulled out of position.
So similar to that Perisic run we've just seen, but Kane starts it off.
Yeah. So, as it's been mentioned, obviously they tend to play with 3 at the back. I think naturally it will be like, as any team would do, what they might tend to do is want to get another player up here. I don't think we should do that, because all that's going to do is then drag the Decore out, and this is where the space then becomes, that's the space that Kane wants. I think what we should do instead is, let me put the Decore back here. Let's say that's Eze and Schlupp. Let's just say they're playing around with it at the back. I just think the Decore just needs to just screen Kane from the front. You know, because he's free. It means he's got a lot of work to do, but I think he can do it. If it means, like, let's just say they pass it out wide, he's just going to have to make sure he's in between. Obviously, if it then goes across, it's a lot of work, because normally one striker does that to 2 defenders. He may have to do it with 3. But what it does, like I said, it allows Decore to be free in the middle of the park. Because obviously, if they're now then trying to get that up to Kane, hopefully he can intercept it. You know? And even if Kane does have it, we can then have a 2v1 here to stop Kane from playing.
So when you know how we said already that Kane likes to pin up defenders, I would probably rather him pin up with Anderson purely because Anderson's a bit taller, probably take a little bit less shit, and also if he does roll Anderson, Gay's got the pace to get back.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Now let's just say that doesn't work with Kane. For in the sense where Kane does get the ball, our fullbacks need to be switched on. Now Mitchell, to be fair to him, defensively he's been a lot better. And so has Ward. I give him that. But that's regarding getting close to the wingers. That's the wrong way. Them playing the ball over the top is where we need to be switched on and stuff. So let's just say Son's running in here. This is where we need to be a lot more switched on defensively. And hopefully, because obviously Mitchell has had it a few times where like we've come across, the ball's gone into the back post and Mitchell switched off.
But what you need to do in here is you need to put Son right side of Mitchell. So put Son on the other side of Mitchell, and then bring Porro all the way up. Because we can't forget about So
he's effectively Porro's actually effectively going to be
so Porro will come up higher than Son here. Son will drop in the middle. Kane will get into the box, Son will drop, and Porro will be the one picking up the back post run. So Zaha needs to be very switched on as well.
Yeah, 100%. And that goes with Michael as well. And to be fair to Michael, his defensive
so depending on which side the ball's gone down on, everyone has to be switched on because all their fullbacks are going no matter what. So even if Son's on the run, Perisic is still following, but Perisic is coming inside.
Yeah, so Perisic he'll bomb him as well. Yeah, so
Perisic will be about there, maybe a bit higher, but
this is why I said keeping Decore free will be key because he can now be that.
Of course,
he can now track that Son run if his Son runs inside and stuff. It's so key that we somehow keep him free throughout. So yeah, on the attacking front, so let me just put everyone back where they were. Porro.
Yeah, but before you talk about the attack quickly, let me just show. So this is basically exactly what Rich has just said, but in like a technical, like in a visual or a digital, I think that's the word. But as we can see, I don't want to confuse everyone with like multiple lines, but the line is the run from Perisic from where he was to where he will go. So this is less of a counter attack, but more of a build up and attack. So this is where Perisic will go, and then that's the ball into the box. And the ball is where the pass will start. So pass will start from Perisic into Son, out to Skip, and he'll thread it through. But remember that thread it through could end up at Perisic. The same run is going to be made by Porro as well. So that ball could also go out, could go into Skip, into Kulusevski, into Kane, or just straight to Porro into Kane. Like they've got many options. So how they do it is they lead sort of in like a 4-2-2-3 as they're going forwards. And the reason why they do this is because Skip picks up a very central position in between our defensive midfielder and the striker. So here, you're creating many triangles. You're creating a triangle between Skip, Kulusevski, and Kane, Skip, Kulusevski, Son, Skip, Son, Kane. Like, you've got loads of triangles, and even if you move forwards a bit, Porro, Kane, Kulusevski, they've always got a passing option, and that's why this formation works for them, and they've got the players to play it. And they can be extremely deadly when they move forwards.
Oh, definitely. So more attacking front. The key to us here is being able to play the ball either in between the wing back and the centre back on either side, or in between the two centre backs into any of these channels just outside of the width of the goalpost and such. They ball watch a lot. They ball watch an absolute lot. So this is where, especially Elise, is going to come in key because he's so good at this. he's going to literally drag Perisic down the line as much as he can. And like I said, because Tottenham ball watch, Davies will probably come over, which means Ayew will come over as well. And there's the space. Now that space can come of one of two ways. That could be the cross into the box for Eze or Slup. Or if Michael then decides to pass it back to Wardy, once again, Zaha should be there, Schlupp should be there. And if need be, Mitchell and such. So we're going to get a lot of joy either side of the centre backs and such.
I think the only thing that I can say about this way of moving forwards is very risky to go forwards and commit that many players purely because of literally what we've just said about their counter-attack. If we don't score, Forster's got a good distribution. If he can ping that ball straight to Kane, Kulusevski and Son always stay up. So if we commit Mitchell forwards, then we've really only got Gay, Anderson and Ward defending, and maybe Decore as well, depending on how much he's pushed up as well. So that's how they catch you out. They know you're going to commit people forwards, and if you do, that is exactly what they want.
No, absolutely, but it's a risk that we should take.
We should take it.
I think it's a risk we should take, and we'll definitely get the joy. Like I said, especially Porro defensively, he switches off. Zaha could get a lot of joy with that, you know.
Oh, 100%.
The one thing though with Schlupp is he's been a lot better at it, but sometimes he just runs everywhere. Beforehand, he just runs everywhere. I think he just needs to be a bit more disciplined and maybe just follow Højbjerg around and stuff. I don't mind Oliver Skip getting the ball. I don't mind that because I think Eze can do a job with him. But Højbjerg, when Højbjerg gets them ticking, Tottenham are a decent side. He's the one we need to stop.
Definitely. Rich bring up some good points there. I think one thing with Schlupp that you said, and I think he demonstrated it perfectly in the West Ham game, Tottenham have the highest errors leading to goals in the whole Premier League. And I think that's something that after Schlupp done it to Souček, I'm sure they're going to be switched on for it in this game. Yeah. But I think it's still relevant here. They've had 9 errors leading up to goals this season, which is a lot.
It is. And that's all trying to play out from the back.
It's all trying to play out from the back. So if they try and get smart, we still have no reason not to still employ the press. I know the press is only 1 or 2 man, but because it's like that, it's sort of sneaky. As you said to me off stream, how Schlupp done it was he was pressing Souček. As he looked over his shoulder, he stopped running, make it look like he wasn't even pressing. The second he turned, he was on him. Very, very smart gamesmanship from Schlupp there. But it's something like that, like a little any edge we can get, because we hardly ever beat Spurs. We have got a very bad record against Spurs in general. Yeah. So any little advantage that we can gain, we have to take advantage of it. We really do. And taking our chances, which is something we've been really good at lately, but we have to do it. It's very important to do it. On my attacking screen, I'm seeing something that I've been loving lately from Ayew when he played up front. He's making different runs to our other runners, and that is probably the best thing that could happen to us right now, because normally what would happen with Edouard is that Eze would make this diagonal run, but then Edouard will run into the same place, and then both of our players are like, bro, why are you here? This is my space. However, with Ayew, he doesn't do that. Ayew's run, he runs diagonally when he needs to, runs straight when he needs to. And in this sort of situation that he found himself in, with Elise cutting in on the inside, Eze made a very wide run out wide to take the fullback. Dyer closed up to Ayew, and then Ayew hit that little bit of run into that near space here. That's exactly how he scored against West Ham. And just plays very similar to that will work very well against this Tottenham team, purely because they have got good tacklers. Don't get me wrong. Like Dyer's a good centre back when he wants to be. Romero's a good centre back when he wants to be, but he's just a walking red card.
He is.
Which I think we need to take advantage of as well.
That's a good point. And I mean,
Because
you look at the penalty that he conceded on the weekend. It's
because
literally
we have dribblers.
That dribbling and that intricate passing, literally where we saw for the West Ham, it wasn't a penalty for me, but that sort of play in and around the box, Romero's going to dive in.
Yeah, he will. If he's got any doubt, he will dive in. And if we have dribblers, that will just give him doubt. And that's something that their whole team struggles against. Højbjerg struggles against dribblers. Skip struggles against dribblers. You can just run past Kane if you're good at dribbling. I've seen RHEA do it before. And Davies and Dyer, they're not the fastest guys in the world. So they play a very high line. So in that sense, we could hit them with a counter-attack very easily. But Porro is very fast and Perisic is very fast. So that we need to worry out wides, but their centre-backs aren't the fastest people in the world.
Yeah.
But dribbling is the key here. So in my mind, I think that we've got a very good chance of dealing some damage here with a play very similar to this. So they defend up like this. Obviously, I've got all my arrows here, and these will all make sense in a minute. But I can see something like this happening. We're on the ball. We pull back a little bit. Anderson's on the ball, picks a pass to Zaha or Elise. I'll pick Elise here, purely because I've got a run for Zaha going on over here. So the ball will pick out to Elise. Obviously, Perisic will come over, Højbjerg will come over, and Davies will come over. We've seen Elise hit this very early pass into Eze. We've seen it before. Obviously, Dyer will have to come over. They'll have to switch. However, if that happens, you've got free space out wide. You've got Ayew coming through. You've got Schlupp coming into the middle as he has been. It's a great way of committing people forwards. As you can see, we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 people here. But we still have got 5 defenders back. So let's say if the cross goes straight to Forster, and obviously they start running.
For cover.
They start running. But in the grand scheme of things, look, you've got cover there. You've got Gay not doing like on his own still, so he'll make the run. Anderson's covering Son potentially. Decore's still near Kane. I highly doubt Skip's got the legs to get from here in front of everyone. So even here, we've committed forwards, but not overextending ourselves. And also remember, Johnstone does like to step up a lot as well because of how good he is with his feet. So if that ball gets played, Anderson could potentially head it back to Johnstone, and he could potentially just dribble it back and pick it up. Like, it's a good way of committing, but not too much. And that's one thing I've been very impressed with Roy lately.
Yeah, but even with that setup, like I was saying earlier, like the key is to having one of our players free.
Yeah.
We have to somehow have one of us free to kind of either screen or to be cover. And in that scenario, like you said, Gay was the one that was free, to act as cover. Let's just hypothetically say Kane was the one that pushed up towards Gay, then Decore is free. That's where we're going to get our joy.
Definitely. I think that's about it, mate. Any other things you want to chat about?
No, just hopefully we just show up.
We need to be confident. I think that's the main thing. Need to go there and be confident. It's going to be looming over them that we haven't scored a goal there since they built that stadium, and that's probably going to weigh on them a little bit. But they need to be confident and trust in their own abilities.
Absolutely. And you know what's weird? I would have rather Lloris in goal because Lloris also contributes to a lot of those defensive errors.
Yeah.
Through his distribution. So, but it is what it is. Just go there and express ourselves as best we can. I'm fairly confident this time around. But also, we have to make sure that if we do take a lead, I have to give Spurs a bit of credit.
They don't give up.
They don't give up.
But you know what will happen, though, Rich? We will concede first. It's just how it works.
It's just how we play.
Yeah. Spurs, please score first, and then you have a game. If we score first, I really don't know what's going to happen. But But one thing that we completely forgot to talk about is they have got cover up front. Richarlison, Danjuma.
He's broke his duck as well.
Yeah, Richarlison.
No pun intended with the duck, by the way.
Lucas Moura as well. I know he knows that he's done something bad. So if he gets subbed on, he's going to do a madness. So scary times. But finally, Rich, bearing in mind everything we talked about with their injuries, the tactics, being confident or not, what's your score prediction?
This is going to change throughout the week. But I'm actually going to say 2-1 Palace. I just have a feeling it's the third time lucky. Yeah, it might change throughout the week.
Well, so you're saying it's the third time lucky on me actually going to the stadium?
Yeah.
I'd be happy getting a draw out of this game. But do I see a draw happening? I think I do. I think I see... I see something dead like 1-0, you know? I'm not going to lie to you. I see a dead game. Because bear in mind, we've been playing 1-0 Palace. 1-0 Palace. I'm backing the boys now.
Good lad.
But yes, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is the TACT Eagle for the Spurs game. Look out for the preview. They're probably going to do it Thursday or Friday. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
this comes out on Wednesdays. As always, like, share, subscribe. It's your boy JC. That's Rich. And we are out. Up the Palace. Yo!